Well, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. GoodTimesWithScar here, and welcome back to the wonderful world of hermits and crafting. And we're here at Scar's Frontier Outpost, getting ready to return to the courthouse build and freshen up that interior. But before we do that, I want to give you guys a quick update on my base planning here. So in our last few episodes, we've been working on the interior, getting some hallways and different things along those lines set up. Now I'm trying to work out a redstone problem for my armory, because I would love it if I could have my armor stands like pop up once you come through the door, or potentially even have a combination lock. Who knows? As you guys know, I'm not the greatest at redstone, so I'm trying to come up with some ideas. So I'm kind of working out that for this area, so you guys are updated on that, of course. And now over here, we have this gigantic space. Now, what I want to do is turn this area into more of a forestry operation. I would like to start terraforming these hills in this section right here and start bringing them up a little higher. I want to work out a little river that flows through here, potentially even building up a sawmill with a wheel and everything. And I love how we already have like just a little mining operation built up there. Nothing too substantial, because what I want to do in this area is, mainly focus on logs. All right, so we got that established. We got the water wheel, we've got the river and the mountains. Oh, I'm absolutely loving it. And next thing would be, of course, a train station. How are we going to get our ores and our logs to our Wild West town? That's the good question, my friends. So what we're going to be doing is building a train station. Now, originally I had planned over there in the tent area, that's where I was going to build the train station and then have bridges. As you can see, these are all future bridge plans that I have built over here, and then big railroad locomotives, carrying logs out of the area on them. But I was talking to Wells in the last episode. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Wells, when I toured his base, and it was super awesome. But one thing he said was, why don't you just repurpose the tents, keep them where they are, because people eventually, when the season ends, would love to come over here and see the different things that you have built, especially being these were your first Hermitcraft builds ever, which is, understandable, and I really agree with that. So I'm contemplating doing this, keeping these where they are, and kind of repurposing them, because we don't need them for any survival things anymore, because our survival base is now underground. So the question is, we could turn these into more logging and train, kind of work people. This is kind of where they live. The other question is, if I just take these guys, these tents, and take them and put them on the other side over there, and just kind of repurpose them on that side and build the train station right here, where, we got cranes and different things loading logs. And then there, of course, will be a gigantic bridge that will outstretch this canyon, and that is right there. And there'll be a huge locomotive train built up right there, which I think will look absolutely amazing. I'm currently doing some tests on actually how to build a real life train, which is really fun. But yeah, those are some ideas that I'm just kind of buzzing about. And my friends, it is time to start getting working on that courthouse. So let's get our equipment and let's head on over. And welcome back to the White District. And as you can see, our beautiful courthouse is starting to emerge, and there's a random cat on our roof, as you can see, looking very, very wonderful. Let's swoop all the way around here and take a look at the side, which is actually my personal favorite part of the courthouse, is these sides. I think we did a good job with depth and detail, and I think that came out really nice. Oh, hello there, Scar. Anyway, my friends, let's get right into it today, and we're going to be working inside creating a lobby. That's right. So let's turn the corner in our house of justice here on the Hermitcraft server, and we'll go up our stairs. And as you can see, I've been doing just a little bit of planning within the interior. So there goes the magic lights, apparently. Anyway, so as you can see, this blocks over there are 13 long. So this is kind of the lobby space I've come up with. So one of the challenges we always have is when we work on the exterior, we create a pleasing look of window arrangements that look, proportionally right for the exterior. Sometimes that can interfere with the way we want to subdivide the interior for rooms and things of that nature. We're having a similar problem in Scarland, my survival world. So as you guys can see, I think I've got a solution. So the lobby will have this window, and the main courtroom area will have those two windows plus those three. That center window may go away. I'm doing a little bit of planning back there, and that might have to go away. Anyway, so this right there, that block right there before it starts going upwards, that one all the way down to that stone block is 13 blocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this entire thing up with stone, and I'll be right back. And there we go. We have ourselves a floor. Now let's hit it with our randomizer 9000. And there we go. We have our blocks randomized and ready to go, which is looking good. Now, as you know, this area has not been randomized as much because what I've been thinking about is actually cutting out a little section in here and then having staircases on either end going down and then into the courtroom. I think that'll be awesome. It's a little change of plans than I had, and that will require us to sink down the courtroom a little bit farther into the ground. And I think that's going to be actually a really cool idea, and I think we're going to have a lot of success from that. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull these sections like this. So I'm going to pull these walls from this area right here, and I'm going to bring them out about 12 blocks on either end, and that will start setting up a nice little section for us to start detailing in here. So once again, my friends, I'm going to go back to this grunt work, and I'll meet you in the detailing phase. And welcome back, and as you can see, we have our walls built up and ready to go. Now, I wanted to show you guys some actual progress, and we've been working on the grunt work here for about an hour, and I really wanted to show you guys some actual progress. So I've worked on some kind of crown molding designs that will go around our doorways, and let's kind of dive right into it. So these poles going upwards right here, they're going to go up about 14, and these double wide pillars on the ends here are about 12 or so. So let's start working on this one right here. Let's grab out a little scaffolding and see what we can kind of work out, and hopefully you guys enjoy. So I'm going to bring these up to about 5 and then go up to one more block and then put a stair block on them, which should make 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then of course that's the 6th block. Awesome. So hopefully you guys like the kind of the tour of the Frontier Outpost and are excited about the future. I'm super excited that we're finally going to build that Wild West town. If you were a long-time subscriber, you know I've been saying I'm going to build one of those dang towns for so very long. In Stud Tech, we were going to do one, and especially that would have been amazing because of all the modded possibilities that we had. But we never quite got around to it before the season ended. So the goal here is to make sure we get our actual Wild West town done before the end of this season of Hermitcraft, because that would be tragic if we didn't get it done. So we're going to do it. Don't worry about it. We've got this. There we go. Put that across there. And the whole reason of making sure we get the Frontier Outpost established, not only is it my survival base of the server, I'm looking for my chisel blocks. There they are. The whole purpose of the town that we're building is because of the industry that is part of the Western Scar trading and the logging and the ores and different things like that we want to have over at our survival base. So when you think of building in Minecraft, it's always important to really establish those details, those stories, the atmosphere, and especially that's great when you're lacking inspiration, is to come up with those designs in your head. Think of like, oh, I really want to build a castle, but where is this castle? What is it doing? I have no ideas. Think about it this way. What if we just designed it as a magical castle? This is something that I've been working on, a magical castle that has been abandoned for a long time, and you think, oh, I get it, this castle could be crumbling and do all sorts of cool like ancient things, and that's kind of how inspiration can start to flow a little bit. All right, there we go. That's looking decent. Next thing I want to do, I want to grab this guy. Oh, hello. I want to grab this guy and that. There we go. Swoop over here, grab myself out this, and I'm going to go boom and a bam like that. I think I'll put a half slab right in that corner right there, but I want to do this on this side while I actually have the materials. But yeah, that's how you do it. You just try to think about in your head, who lives here, why did they live here, what was it built for? And if we just build a Wild West town for the heck of it, without any of those thoughts, pre-built and pre-planned within our little universe that we've created, it just doesn't feel like it's real. And that's kind of our point. We try to do our best at creating. Looks like I forgot the 2 half slabs over there, but that's okay. Let's start working on this pillar, and then I'll meet you guys in a couple minutes. And welcome back. Now, I had to set up myself a little donation box for the project because I'm running out of resources for it, especially with quartz. So I sent a message to the hermits. If they have any extra resources, bring them on over and donate to the project. Now, I can't guarantee a favorable ruling in any court case, but I mean, it's not going to hurt to give me a little extra something. I mean, Judge Scar here is non-partial, but I mean, like I said, it's not going to hurt your case. So, the best you can do is donate and hope for a favorable ruling. I think that's only fair. Don't you guys think? So yeah, it's been a long time since we last talked because I've had to go to the Nether and get some more quartz and some more resources because, well, I'm completely out of all the stuff we're working on in this area. So I think we're doing a little bit better. Cub Fan was able to help with a bunch of quartz, which was really appreciative. So as you can see, we're kind of building up this section, and I want to work on this design that we've worked out for this window over here. So I kind of got this set up, and I'm pretty happy with the way that has come out. I did put the half slabs up there, so don't be worried about that. So that's working out pretty good. So yeah, this project was a little more than anticipated, but it's definitely fun. Like, I really enjoy it. It's just a little bit more work than I anticipated, but that's only the best projects, right? If you overestimate the amount of resources you need for a project, well, my friend, I think you better go back to the drawing board and start working on some better designs, to be honest. That's my philosophy, I guess. When, you know, if you underestimate, well, maybe you should have gone back and figured out how to make it bigger. There we go. Put that along there like that, and that should be high enough. I think we are perfect on that and should line up just about perfect on that side. Beautiful. I'm going to put these as sneaky blocks up here for now, and what we're going to do is we're going to do the swoopy swoop. Yes, that's the swoopy swoop. I've trademarked that. This is the swoopy swoop around the pillars like this and avoiding any of these server glitches. There we go. And we just bring these all the way across here. We call that the swoopy swoop. So I think that'll look pretty cool, and I'm really happy with the general layout of the interior so far. I think this will look really, really good once we get done. And I've also underestimated the amount of time this episode has taken. We're at about 3 hours at this point with the resource gathering and just trying to figure out how best to arrange the room. But I'm happy with taking that extra time, because I think in the end we will get something very nice and something that we're very happy with, because I don't want to rush this, because this is a public build on the server, and I don't want to be some, you know, half-hearted or hokey-dokey looking build as a public build on the server. So I think we got to make sure we try our best to make it look as good as we possibly can. So I'm definitely happy about taking the extra time and really kind of honing in, if you will, on all of the designs that we're working on. So one thing to kind of clean this area up. So I want to kind of mimic that over there. So what we're going to do here is avoid having those little things happen. We're going to go like that and then cut in. Oh, hello. You sneaky little block. Sometimes when there's ever so slightly server lag, these things happen. There we go. And then switch that over there. See, you scoundrel. And put that one right there and right. See, that was probably my fault right there anyway. So yeah, so carry that design all the way up to the top and then loop it across. And I'll meet you over here and work on that staircase. I decided to sweeten the deal, my friends, and add some cake to lure in the other hermits because they love cake. And when they get over here with that sweet smell of cake, they'll be like, yeah, I'm in the mood to help out Scar with some extra quartz. Anyway, my friends, as you can see, I've gotten some extra work done here. What I've done is I've established that window looking into the courthouse over there, and then I've cut out this little centerpiece where the staircases then will drop down into the ground here and then into the courthouse. And I'm so glad that we, you know, have taken the extra time to try to figure out things today, because before it was going to be straight this floor level all the way across, but like this is going to add so much extra dimensionality to the room. It's going to be amazing. All right, my friends, let's jump into this corner and see if we can make some magic happen. We're going to go boom, meta bam, cut those pieces out. We're going to apply some little bits of that going like that. And then from here, let's go up just a little bit higher. There we go. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. And then we'll just run those guys all the way up and then cut these all the way to here. So this will just add a really cool little window. Oh, hello. There we go. Into the courthouse. There we go. And then let's go up to the top here and kind of figure out where we're going to go from here. So why don't we take some of these again? We're going to put these guys like that. Now we're going to try to mirror it to exactly the other side, of course. So I'm trying to remember, to be honest. Trying to remember the other side to my best of abilities. There we go. Because I do like the other side, so I think that's a good design. So let's just bring these guys like that, and then we'll swoop over here, grab ourselves some of our stairs like that. Now you might be noticing these little columns here. I'm actually going to adjust those. So I'm going to try to catch that. There we go. Oh, we lost one, but we should be able to get this done before that despawns, because every block is precious, my friend. Every block is precious. We do not want to lose a single one. There we go. Looking good so far. And then put that one right there, and we'll swoop over here. We'll look for, if I can ever find it in the inventory, they're always hiding. Something like, oh, nope, that's not it. I'm looking for the chisel. There's my chisel. You sneaky little chisel. You want to be there. It's going to be a great place for you. You're going to love it. You're going to make new friends. It'll be wonderful. All right, then we're gonna put these guys across here like so, and then I'm gonna back off just ever so slightly, take this, grab that, and fit those in there. And it's just trying to apply this extra little level of detail in here that I think will look very grand and very wonderful. Now, I've come up with an amazing idea over the judges table. So over where the judge will sit, I've got some really, really cool design that I want to do over the judge's table. And that is like this ancient little hermit creature. And he's kind of like, or she's kind of like hermit justice, I suppose. I think it'll be really cool. You guys are going to hopefully like that once I get that all established. There we go. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back down here like that, cut those ones along there. And this is also giving me some more incredible time just to visualize in my head what our final, Wild West town will look like. I think when we talked a long time ago about this, I cannot for the life of me get oh, that's why. I was like, for the life of me can't get the block back there. Well, that's why, Scar. There you go. Good job. It just gave me a lot of time to think about it. Like, think about what's the possibilities and all the different things about it, and like sheriff's offices, with potentially, viewers' heads in it. So subscribers maybe on Twitch can have their heads inside the cell blocks, and then for extra, residents of the different areas, maybe somebody works in a shop can be a viewer that can leave a comment or something along those lines. I think could be really, really cool, and I'm liking that. I think we've got all the blocks in good orientations, and it's definitely looking good. Let's scaffold our way down. Other things are, of course, the Whiskey Night Saloon. If anyone's a longtime viewer, remember what the Whiskey Night Saloon is. Hopefully you guys are excited about that, because I think that'll be a really fun project. These little wings that are sticking down like that, I don't have them on this side, but I really like those. I think that looks better than this side in particular, but yeah, look at that. I'm really happy with that. And like I said, if you remember the Whiskey Night Saloon or where that reference came from, definitely leave a comment. Yeah, I like this. I might make that modification over here onto this side, and I'm going to continue to work out this staircase design. All right, and welcome back. And as you can see, we are just above the main archway going into the courthouse, and we're working on the decorative details here on the roof line. And as you can see, I cleaned up the roof by adding some stone slabs and stairs, and of course some andesite and mixed stone. And I think that came out really cool. It cleaned up our entire roof line. Looks absolutely beautiful. And we're working right now on cleaning up this last area right here, and that is the kind of decorative pillar above. And I think that's coming out pretty cool. And as we put our final touches on here, let's talk about those log fellows. And you might be thinking, oh, Scar, what have they done now? Well, what they've done is nothing, and that's the problem. They haven't paid me, and we are still in need of our diamonds. So I have sent an entire chest full of mixed logs to them, and for every 2 logs, I get a diamond in return, and I've got nothing except 2 counterfeit diamonds. That's right. I've been sent counterfeit diamonds, and I don't know if I'm being played by Cub or the whatever they're called, the log fellas. I don't even know which one's playing me, but all I know is I want my diamonds and I need your guys' help. So what should we do? Should we contact Sheriff Falls or give them a little bit more time? So in the comments, let me know. Yes, Scar, you should go follow the report, or no, Scar, give them more time, give them more time. So let me know that. Don't hashtag it, believe me. Turns out every time you hashtag something now, YouTube considers it spam, and it sends all those comments into a review file. And it's like, after our last episode, I asked you guys, what should we do? And I was like, hashtag whatever we should do, should we keep the prizes for Cub's Quest or give them back? And I was like, hashtag keep or give away. Well, there was over 400 comments inside of the spam file when I looked. I was like, oh my gosh, there's hardly any comments on the video because they were all sent to review. It was quite sad, actually. It took me a very long time to review all those. Let me put that one right there and clear out that. So yeah, no hashtags. So we will remember that for future reference. All right. Yeah, that looks really cool. And then down here, we'll be down to the jail cells. That's right, my friends. That takes you down to the jail cells. So this little design here, I want to complete that on this side over here. But yeah, like I said, if made it to the end of the video, definitely let me know, my friends. Definitely let me know what I should do. If I should go and file that report with Sheriff Falls, or if I should give them a little bit more time. Maybe times are tough as the log fellows. I don't know. I'm not a log fellow, so I don't know. They could be hurting on diamonds. Maybe that's the case. Maybe people's need for diamonds are lower, even though I've sent them the diamond or the logs, and I should be paid for what I sent, right? I think so. And then we got to figure out this fishy business when it comes to the Cub. because he says those diamonds are impure diamonds and that we have been played by the Logfellows. Well, how do I not know Heaps played us? It's all very fishy, my friends. It is very fishy. And I'm absolutely loving our interior of the courthouse. There's still a ton more work to do in here, but I think we got a massive chunk of progress done today. And this took almost 4 hours to complete, which is weird. When you look at this, you're like, 4 hours? Oh, come on, Scar. But it was actually a lot of work gathering extra quartz and, of course, just getting all of these details built up into the sky. And I really do hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode and were inspired for your own interior designs. You can kind of take all of these and kind of incorporate them to really anything, not just a courthouse. But my friends, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. And if you believe the videos are rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, we'll see you later.